All right. Welcome everybody to another BD Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad everybody could be on board for this one, fellas. Another fight down, another Arabian adventure as we near the end of the year. And we just had Dmitry Bivol beating a bigger, seemingly stronger, and possibly younger, I believe. Well, I think they're about the same age. Fighter, possibly solidifying his hold as the fighter of the year 2023. We'll see what happens. We'll discuss all of it. We're going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about the future and a whole bunch of other things, guys. A very special episode here right after the fight. But before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. You guys know the drill. You can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you can certainly wire them via the Super Chat feature. It's better to join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. And YouTube doesn't take a 30% cut, I believe. The most important thing is you continue to like, subscribe, spread that BDA gospel. There's a lot of uninitiated out there. The Crimson Inquisition is at hand. And if you want to be on the right side, you better get on board here, the BDA boxing train. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Mark T, Josa, Electorazo. What about me? The Quags. Shout out to the Quags. Who else we having here? So Passive Live, ET, Shadow Combat, Super Sardonic, Electorazo, No Bang, Rapax Trucking Company. Shout out to Rapax. Many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. As always, well, the way this is going to work is going to be talking about the fight. Then we're going to be opening the phone lines in about, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So stay tuned for that one. In the meantime, let me invite a couple of people over here. Start cooking with a little hot grease. And listen, I thought it was I've criticized Bivol before because I don't, when he fights guys like Craig Richards and all that, I'm not all that interested because I already know how it's going to go. But now when he fights a big challenge like Zurdo, bigger dude, I mean, listen, Zurdo looks big, man. And I know there's some people saying, well, it's not like Bivol really is a small guy. Yeah, he's not a small dude, but fuck, man, Zurdo look huge in there. Absolutely gigantic. So we're going to talk about that as well. Hold on a second. I'm inviting people here. See who joins. Hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds, fellas. Come on now. I know you can handle it. All right. I invited the people that I need to. I see we've got the Jimster in here. The Jim Marino. Jim Marino, are you there? Jimmy.
Yes, sir. I'm
All
just
right.
getting set up.
You sound in better spirits than yesterday, man. Good to hear. All right, Jimmy. I want to start with your point of view about this fight. What did you see? Jimmy, do you hear me?
Just give me.
Oh, he said.
Just give me one more second to set up, my brother.
I'll give you 5 seconds. How about that? That's how magnanimous
All right.
and that's how generous I am. Let me read a couple of chats real quick. North London says Bivol won for Putin. Electorazo says Zurdo versus Canelo 2. Bivol losers against each other. I mean, come on, who wants to see that? Iron Fist says Bivol was impressive. I want Beterbiev to beat him, but I'm not very confident, he says. Marcus R says salute to all my generals. Salute. That's right, baby. That's right. North London says Bivol smashes another Mexican. Some substance says Zurdo was tired after getting hit with a 1-2. Electorazo says he gasses and he got schooled. All right, Jimmy, you ready? Let me know when you're ready, man. Just start making some noise. I'll cue you in. Shout out to Frankie Sense for rejoining the BD membership program. Extending that one.
Ready, brother.
Frank. Real quick. He says, Viva Bivol. Beautiful master class. Bring on Beterbiev F. Canelo. People don't like Canelo. All right, Jimmy, go ahead, man. What did you think about
we
the
don't
fight?
need to see that. Well, first off, they're not going to be another Canelo fight. You can see it when they just asked him at the ring. He was hesitant because even what's his name, Mannix, try to push him into would you go down to 168? And he was kind of like, ugh. It's like he's like, I just want the fourth belt. He wants the big fight. He wants the legacy. He beat Canelo, and there's nothing. That fight's not going to look any different. In fact, he's probably even beat him even worse now because it's just, it is what it is. But no, I mean, again, I don't want to sound like some cocky asshole because I can get him wrong just like everybody else, and that's why I said right from the beginning, I never questioned it. I said it was going to be an easy victory. I thought it was going to be a pitch shutout. I was actually surprised he lost rounds, to be totally honest with you. And let me explain why. Zurdo there's a reason Top Rank gassed him. They offered him tough fights, and he turned them down one after another. He went 44-0, but if you look at his resume, it's soft. Dude was matched softer than puppy shit his entire career. It wasn't until just recently he fought some tougher competition, but nobody at the likes of Bivol. Like, people don't understand foot balance and being able to dart in and out like a fencer with keeping your shoulders square to the carpet. The canvas, ready to throw at any time. Did you see how bad he made when he missed? Like, Zurdo was gun shy. And these announcers clearly, just drives me crazy. That's another whole thing. They don't know, why isn't he doing talking the body? Why isn't he pushing? Because every time he makes a mistake, he eats a fucking right hand. And, he hits hard enough, it hurts. And, I don't know. Yeah, no. So I'm not surprised. Again, the biggest surprise is he lost 2 rounds on my card. That was the biggest surprise. I literally thought he was going to pitch a shutout against Zurdo. I just thought the kid was... His slowness, his lack of athleticism. Somebody who never saw boxing before could watch that fight and say, "Oh yeah, the little dude who can, the Chinese-looking motherfucker right there. Yeah, that dude is much more athletic." You know what I mean? Like, that was obvious to a layman. Never mind someone who's been following the sport. So yeah, not surprised at all. Listen, Bivol is no joke. That dude is one of the best fighters on the planet, has the best balance and best fight work. It was a long stretch with Zurdo. Credit to him for stepping up, but no, I'm not surprised. Sorry, that was a long-winded
don't apologize. Don't apologize. Come on, man. Well, Gonzalo, what do you think, man?
Yeah, not surprised either. Disappointed. I was rooting for El Zurdo. He just looks sluggish against the quicker man.
Is it raining where you're at, or is it raining where you're at, or are you taking a shower? Please don't tell me you're pulling a recognize.
No, I thought I was going to enjoy the fight a little more. I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive, but it wasn't.
Well, I'll say this, Gonzalo. I'll say this. Most of us picked Bivol, but you picked him, but you preface it by saying, "Look, I'm doing this as a gimmick pick because you wanted to see maybe if he could pull it off." But what did you think about him just not pulling the trigger? Were you surprised at that? Because I know you said that maybe he could do a couple more things there in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, no, his straight shots, he couldn't land flush. He looked a little bit like Kovalev against Canelo. Like, he couldn't pull the trigger, and when he did, he was hesitant to commit to the punch. The uppercut was null and void upstairs and downstairs, which really surprised me. And every time he did get his shot off with somewhat conviction, when he was really going for it, Bivol just threaded the needle in between his shots and landed a 4-5-6 punch combination. Like, we're used to seeing by now, that free-flowing barrage of punches. Right. And Zurdo he can't trade. He can't cope with the speed of a Bivol. So I'm disappointed in Zurdo.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, man, I was surprised at how Zurdo actually did well in spots in the middle of the ring. Certainly better than I expected if the fight took place in the middle of the ring. He landed some good jabs. He did that feint that I talked about before the fight where he goes 1, 2, and then he comes back with a 1. Or he'll sort of do a semi-uppercut between the guard. He had some success. He did have Bivol a little lumped up in the right eye, I believe, or left eye, excuse me. But overall, he was never going to beat Bivol in the middle of the ring. And the people that were thinking that he was going to walk Bivol down, that's what we were talking about the fight. And watch the video we did about 2 weeks ago. When have you seen Zurdo do that? He's not Antonio Margarito. He doesn't put his hands up and walk guy downs and walks, walking guy downs and shooting body shots and uppercuts to the body. He doesn't do that. He did try in some spots to dip down under the right and come back with left uppercuts to the body. But here's the thing, and here's something that people have to understand as well. Joker is reading my mind. He says, Zurdo has no instincts. This is the thing. A guy can be bigger. He can be faster. Whatever you want to add there, whatever physical talent you want to give a guy, punching, hard punching, lightning quick fist. But if he doesn't have that mentality, you can tell him, do this, do that, do that. He's not going to do it. I put Andy Ruiz in the same category. A guy like Callum Smith, Anthony Joshua. Remember when everybody was saying, if he he has to, when he fights Usyk, he has to do this, he has to walk him down. Like when? When have you seen a guy do that and pull the trigger consistently backing a guy up? That's not Zurdo. Now, he's done it in spots, but if he couldn't do it consistently against lesser fighters, did people really expect him to do it against Bivol? So that's my thing. There weren't that many surprises. I got to tell you, one last thing. I told you guys last night that I was doubting myself after the Taraji Kuroguchi fight, but this was a no-brainer, really. It got us back on track. I'm not gonna gloat and say, "Oh, I got it right," because he was a favorite. He was a gosh darn favorite. But we did at least break it down and tell you how it was gonna go, and not just say, "Oh, Bivol by decision." So I think we can pat ourselves in the back there. What else was I gonna say? Oh, hell, hold on. Somebody donated the super chat here. Shout out to Vladdy V for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Zurdo's record reminds me of Wilder Munguia, and Munguia is on the same path. Absolutely. A very padded record. I gotta give Zurdo, like I said, credit. He did improve, and he did better than I expected in the middle of the ring, but he just wasn't gonna beat this guy. Now, fellas, let's talk about, before we talk more about the future light heavyweight, Bivol, do you guys think he should enter the pound for pound rankings now, the top 10 pound for pound rankings?
For sure.
Break it down, Gonzalo.
Of course.
Definitely. I mean, maybe people don't want to include two fighters that are undefeated, that are in the same division, like Better BF or Bivol, that are 75 pounders, got titles, until you get one clear winner, so you can just put one guy in per division. But still, man, the other guys undefeated, got all knockouts, and this guy hardly loses any rounds. I think Canelo won more rounds than Zurdo. This was, 118, 110? How many rounds did they give Bivol? Zurdo 2? So, yeah, he's really a good fighter. Hardly loses any rounds. He should be pound for pound. Or should we wait? Or should people wait till we get undisputed? Could be seen two ways.
It's a good point. That's a good way of putting it there, Gonzalo. Jimmy, what do you think?
Absolutely. Without a doubt. I mean, Canelo, he just came off Canelo, then Zurdo. And again, I want to preference something. I didn't mean to make Zurdo sound like he's a bum. He's not. You know what I mean? He's a big, tough dude. He's huge in there. How he makes that weight is shocking to me. It's just like, and again, I'm only saying what Gonzalo said. Gonzalo's the one who said it. First, I talked about with this one night with Gonzalo, and he said it. And when we talked about the Zurdo fight, he was like, I just think the speed and the footwork will be too much for him to deal with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it went just like Gonzalo originally all those months ago said. So, yeah, but he deserves absolutely to be mentioned because he is. Listen, and people will think, too, I don't know if it's, sometimes I get aggravated. Sometimes I think the respect level for the Asian fighters, anybody of Asian descent, because they're not aggressive people here in the United States. They tend to be pleasant or they're just not violent. And for that, I don't know if they translate that in some people's minds like they're softer, but I've following amateurs my whole life. Korean fighters were always tough as nails. They're like Japanese. These guys, you don't beat them up. They can take shots. And you mix that with the Russian discipline. Yeah, listen, Bivol's a badass, man. And Zurdo, the bigger man, went toe-to-toe with a couple other guys who got a bunch of knockouts. Did you notice he really didn't want to exchange with Bivol, who's punching on his toes? Imagine if that dude stepped flat-footed and turned his hips over more, how much more he would put on his punches. But that's not his game. He knows he doesn't have to do that. He's going to beat you 118 to 110. I think, not to jump ahead, but to beat Better BF, he's going to have to put more on his shots. He's going to have to lay down, maybe not throw as many, but when he does throw, he's going to have to throw harder than he did against Zurdo. But but that's pretty much where I'm at with that, brother. I definitely believe he belongs in the top, right now, top 5 easily, if not the top 3.
Shout out to Padja for his contribution with the super chat. He says rounds 2 and 3 are the only rounds you can possibly give Zurdo. I think maybe there would have been the 9th, I believe. There was one round where Bivol sort of... Because here's the thing, though. I got to commend Zurdo, too, though, for his defense. Just when you thought... Bivol tried unloading some combos on him, putting the pressure, and Zurdo actually made a miss with a lot of those shots. So I gotta give Zurdo credit for that, but you don't win rounds on defense. That's number one. Number two, I also gotta commend Bivol for backing Zurdo up from the get-go, throwing him off for the loop, because that's what a lot of people thought. Well, Zurdo's going to have to gain momentum by coming forward. Bivol put a stop to that from the get-go. From the get-go, he said, no, motherfucker, I'm backing you up. So shout out to Padja. Shout out to Abuela, a.k.a. Wakandan Tax Collector, for his contribution to the Super Chat. He says, Bivol was begging Canelo for a 168 fight before Plant Undisputed. Mexicans have bigger balls. Now Bivol doesn't want 168 belts. He's scared like Wakanda. Well, shout out to Abuela for the contribution. I don't know if Bivol's scared. I mean, I don't see why he should go down to 168. By the way, Bivol also in recent weeks, he's been poo-pooing the Canelo fight. Like Jimmy said, I don't think he's all that interested in fighting this guy again. Been there, done that. The big challenge is for Beterbiev. And Bivol strikes me as the type of guy, he doesn't care about a crowd. Or he's not searching and screaming for adulation the way some of these Twitter divas are. Love me, look at me, love me. Shut up. Just fight in the ring and people will love you. Yeah, but a lot of these people are barking like chihuahuas on Twitter. Not Bivol. Now, some people are going to say, well, BDA, why did you bring up Bivol and top 10 pound for pound? He's already in the top 10 pound for pound, according to Ring Magazine, ESPN's list. But here's the thing. Overall, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but the feeling I get from a lot of people in the boxing community, and certainly not people within our circle, but I'm talking about other channels and other people, I don't hear them talking Bivol. I hear them talking Devin Haney. Devin Haney a couple of months ago was crying about top 10 pound for pound. Newsflash for guys, this is how you fight as a boxer. For a little clinching, he kept it to a minimum, Bivol, only later in the fight when he was getting tired. He was backing the other guy up, combinations, no shoulder roll, no low blows. This is pound for pound, man.
Exactly. He was there to be hit. He was right there in the middle of the ring. It wasn't like he was running. He wasn't the one going backwards. He was the one pushing Zurdo around. And again, hand speed and balance and his accuracy is great. Although because he was punching from power, because listen, Zurdo can hit. You could hear those body punches every time he hit his body. But Bivol, even when he's breathing, you never see his midsection go soft. Mm-hmm. He's constantly in flex. I mean, this kid's a well-trained, well-disciplined, professional fighter. And he's said numerous times, money's not important. He's not going to go back down to 168 because there's no glory in it. You know what I mean? To shrink his body down to go to 168. Well, I mean, that right there, I'm sorry. That's just people who want to see get back. Oh, we got to see a Mexican beat him. Come on. Canelo was the one who went up to 175, and he lost. 168 now, especially he's older, he knows he's going to be emaciated.
I
still think he would beat him, but anyways, what's that?
I don't understand. Like you said, just reiterating your point, I don't understand the logic of, well, he said 168, so now he's got to fight Canelo 168. Why? It's almost like as if, I box you, Jimmy, and you outbox the shit out of me in sparring or something. Then they go, okay, let's rematch, but now this time you got to tie one hand behind your back. Like, what does that prove? Like, you're handicapping a guy. I don't get it, man. Look, there's the big fight everybody wants to see, and that's Bivol, Beterbiev. Gonzalo, I heard you say that last time that Gvozdyk, Beterbiev might be an indication of how Bivol, Beterbiev could go. Do you still, after seeing him handle a big guy like Zurdo, do you think, who would you pick in that fight, Beterbiev, Bivol?
Beterbiev, Bivol, man. And all Russian stands up. And it's just really hard to pick because the other dudes be breaking dudes down. 18 KOs. He got rid of Joe Smith Jr. in 2 rounds. But you know what? One thing about Bivol, they say he's small. He's not really that big. He's a hard dude. He's like really fucking tough. You can't really break that dude down. I think Jimmy said something. Every time he's in and out, he's got a tight core. He keeps it together very well to where he's never soft. So, with that being said, man, the other dude's older, but every time he's touching you, it's like he's fucking knocking people out, man. He don't even got no snap, that Beterbiev dude, but his shots are obviously thudding and fucking and powerful. So, it's one of those things. I could say, okay, Bivol, he's got a school for days, real dominant, in and out, he's aggressive. People don't think he's aggressive. He's aggressive. Like Jimmy said, he's there in your face to be hit. but he still lets his hands go. But all of a sudden, Dmitry Bivol can connect them, and it can be lights out, according to what I've noticed. But then again, Dmitry Bivol, correction, in his last few performances, I think like 2-3 fights ago, because he's hitting 40 or he's 40 now. Some dude took him like into deep waters, or he went 11 rounds with better BF, and he kind of looked ordinary. So in reality, I would just have to say I would favor the boxer. Actually, you always got to favor the boxer. I think that's an old stereotype, I think, but I mean, if they say it, it's probably true. A lot of times, the boxer, I would say.
Gonzalo, I gotta call you out here as well. Someone's calling you out in the chat. Somebody said that you. Hold on, let me look at the quote here. You said something along the lines of, "He's never soft, he's always hard." Well, what do you mean by that, man? Come on.
Yeah, you gotta keep your. I got some echo. No, just basically, you know what the fuck.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you meant. But it sounded strange once you see it on paper, man. It's like,
he just keeps his core. Look, to quote Mr. BDA, he keeps his core tight. No, he controls his breathing.
That's right. Yeah.
He does. He controls his breathing. He keeps his abs tight.
Yep.
So
yesterday I went into my baby's playpen, and I was laying down. He was watching cartoons. I was on my fucking tablet. He's a baby. He's barely starting to learn how to walk, and he fucking sat down on my stomach. He fell down, and I wasn't tightening up my stomach. And guess what? It took the wind out of me, and that's just a baby that sat down on my stomach as I was laying flat on the fucking playpen. Imagine running to a punch when you're not really like tightening your body. That's what I thought Zurdo was going to do, and he couldn't do that. Did you see how Dmitry Bivol was blocking the punches, or, he was keeping it tight?
Yeah.
Like, Zurdo wasn't really facing him in the exchanges because he prepared for that. He's not just going to go there all relaxed. But give credit to Bivol because he's able to come in and out and keep it move and keep it free flowing. At the same time, will still having the ability to tighten his core when he needs to. Because obviously, it's like punching is like you can't always throw hard punches, and your body can always be fucking stiff. Because it's like a fucking cobra. Your body's gotta relax. You gotta throw soft in order to throw hard. Because imagine throwing everything hard. Hey, for one, your opponent's gonna read that cadence, but at the same time, you gotta loosen up your body and throw a little few throwaway shots in order to get the right leverage and really snap into a punch. You see how a cobra does it? A cobra's like relax, and fucking shoots.
Gonzalo, that's an excellent. That's an excellent point. That's a big obstacle that people have to overcome when they start boxing. How to relax, but at the same time be aware of what's coming back, and then explode when you need to punch, but then at the same time, relax right away. Transitioning between those two states is very difficult, man. It takes a lot of practice, and you can't learn that in the bag or even in the mitts. You gotta spar, and fight. That's an excellent point, Gonzalo. Excellent point. Let me read a couple of super chats here real quick. Shout out to Abuela again for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Bill Haney should train Canelo to clinch day. Hey, why not, man? Hey, it's a sweet science. Clinching is the sweet science. Part of the boxing. It's always been around, and it's up to the referee to do something, and all those excuses we keep hearing. Shout out to Abuela. Shout out to Chris K for his contribution to the super chat. He says, clinical but a bit boring. I hope for a knockdown, at least at the end. What does Canelo think he can do better in the rematch? Zurdo looks like a cruiserweight. You know what? Well, I want to get to that, but shout out to Chris K. I want to get back to Zurdo's, how big he looked in that fucking fight. And who else was here? Well, okay, those are the super chats. Was it me, or did Zurdo also look bigger because he was wearing those shorts that go above the knee? Did you guys see that? He didn't have those classic boxing trunks, those long boxing. He had those that go stay above the knee. Makes him look huge. Did you see that?
I know.
Yeah.
The gloves also look big too.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah. They look
and the
like
puppy hair. He didn't look very like the other guy. Looked more like man, like he had it going on, like more fucking in and out, fucking keep his punches. He just looked a little clumsy. El Zurdo looked a little clumsy, man. To be honest, he looked sluggish.
Hey, by the way, excuse me, I forgot a super chat from Paper Tiger. Shout out to Paper Tiger. He says, Bivol's composure may be the biggest asset versus Beterbiev. But what about that? A shout out to Paper Tiger, man. Really appreciate it. What about that? You guys think Bivol, because that's the main thing. A lot of people lose their composure when they're fighting Beterbiev. This motherfucker puts on pressure. He doesn't go all out with hooks and allow you to clinch. He controls the distance very well. Even his straight shots to the body hurt. Just ask Gvozdyk. So what do you think? You think, what's his name, Bivol would stay composed enough to hinder, or is he going to be a little trepidatious once he tastes the power?
He's an ambush fighter, in and out. So, I mean, it's hard to tell, man, because he just might be that good that he'll box. Better be it, but that power, I mean, it's for real. It's like Zurdo today. He threw and nothing landed with any significance that I wasn't even like surprised, man. So if he can take away from, that's what I'm saying. That dude's tough. That dude can fucking take a punch and he makes it look easy. All them shots that Canelo threw at his shoulders. Oh, later he said, hey, yeah, he hurt me to the shoulder. He even knotted him up. But in reality, he never showed any sign that he was gonna crumble. Or did he started throwing less punches because his arm had like wear and tear, that it wasn't the same? No, he was able to be the person that he was able to be the man that he needed to be during the fight. And after, if you're gonna fucking use ice packs and fucking take a rest and like, oh shit, I'm fucking done, I'm gonna hang him up for tonight, that's fucking it. Yeah, but during the fight, he ain't giving up. He's not showing any signs of slowing down.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point there, Gonzalo. That's a very good point. Jimmy, you were going to say something?
Well, what was the question again? I kind of slipped off there for a second.
I said, and I'm going to throw in a word that you're going to love, trepidatious. You think Bivol is going to be trepidatious when he feels Beterbiev's power?
No.
Or you think he's going to stay composed? All right.
Oh, he'll absolutely stay composed, because that's like there was some kind of narrative going around, and it was on Twitter, not just on the show, but a lot of people saying, man, Bivol's face, he looked nervous, he looked scared, or I'm like, I just think he just was, has a certain kind of look. He knows he's not nervous. He knows he can take a shot. He knows what he can take. He's very confident what he can do. He's going to stay composed to a point where that's what will prevent him from ever being this big sensation, because he's too composed. Like, there's a few times, in fact, in the first round even, he hurt Zurdo. He rocked him, I think, 2.5 minutes into the round. He caught him on a right hand, and it's stiff, like it sent Zurdo back, and he put his hands right up to his head, like to cover up. Normal guys would have just sensed that, would have felt it, like when you hit a baseball perfectly, you just know you've cracked it. So it's the same thing when you throw a punch and you hit somebody perfect and you just see his reaction. Most guys, to your point about composure, would just throw caution when you jump on him. It was a few times he had Zurdo attentioned, got his attention, if not rocked, and he didn't jump on him, because that's not his way. He just knows. I mean, this kid could, a 15-rounder, no problem. The conditioning. I mean, that's another thing. That kid's up on his toes, bouncing in and out, whether it's the second round or the 12th. I mean, literally almost no speed differential in his punches from the 12th round to the fucking second. That's incredible. He's just as crisp. And that's very disheartening for a fighter, especially a big guy like Zurdo. I'd imagine sucking down and make that weight. He must be like, legs are burning, feeling like fucking 67 Cadillacs, and all of a sudden there's that dude on the other side bouncing around. Come on, big guy. Pop, 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 pop. Just picking you apart. So, yeah, composure is always going to be his thing, to his detriment, actually.
That's a good point. On the other hand, I don't think he cares all that much. I don't think he cares all that much. And at least, what'd you say, Jimmy?
No, I said it's the only ones we give.
Yeah, but I don't think, like, at least he's not back foot bitching it. I mean, he was backing Zurdo up. I give this guy credit, man. And certainly one of the top pound for pound fighters in the world. That's how he's got to be. Push away some of those boring guys. Look, when you're comparing top 10 guys, the bar is very, very high. Get those guys out of their of the top 5. Those guys that love to clinch, that love the guys the guys that love to hit to the balls, the guys that love to run around the ring. Get those guys out of the top 5 and put Bivol in there. He's earned it. Believe me.
Exactly.
Shout out to.
And think of what. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, imagine how many times you hear an American fighter say this: "Money's not important. I'm here about the legacy." He proved that with Canelo too. He took $2 million, Plank a 10. He didn't. The first offer thrown his way, he's like, "Yep, I'll take it."
He's a maniac.
Like, what the fuck was this guy's thinking? Like, I can't believe they didn't hold out for more, but whatever. I think he wanted to show the zone, like, hey, I'm your guy. I'm not going to try to break your bank. I'm not trying to treat every fight like it's a going out of business sale. Like, so money's not clearly his number one thing. He wants legacy. Like, he really wants to be undisputed. And that fight, out of all the undisputed fights we've seen recently, that's going to be one hell of a fight. Pure boxer against another well-schooled, but albeit slower boxer, but with incredible power. So
absolutely,
it should be a decent one, man.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk more about that. And believe me, fellas, don't forget, we're going to be opening up the phone lines in about 10, 15 minutes, maybe more, maybe a little bit less. Depends on how everything goes here. In the meantime, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It really helps us out. And shout out to Ratback's Trucking Company for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Bivol's haircut looked like the famous Mexican Tizac. Who's Tizac? Or is that Tizoc? Oh, Tizoc. Gonzalo, who's Tizoc? Is that one of those new reggaeton singers or something? Or, never heard of that guy before. I'm not kidding. I don't know who it is, but shout out to Ratbacks. I'm going to try to look up a photo. And shout out to Abuela again for his contribution to Super Chat. Shout out to Abuela. He says LBC said Zurdo and Callum Smith were garbage. They say Bivol versus Zurdo was a masterclass, but everyone downplayed Canelo versus Smith's masterclass. Gay. I mean, listen, people choose who they want to give credit to and who they want to divest credit from, but I like to think that we give people here a centered perspective, a very nuanced and centrist perspective. So Bivol definitely deserves all the accolades that are coming his way. Bucho says it's a
Canelo did better against him than Zurdo did.
Yeah, it's true.
I think so.
That's what Gonzalo said. Yeah,
it goes to show you, Canelo. Everybody, just goes to show him. Like, it's all about how it looks after. Like, he lost to a tremendous fighter who was much bigger than him, from a kid who started at 147. So, Prophet Canelo will go up there and fighting that big dude. What's that, Gonzalo? Go, Gonzalo.
I think his connection's a little off because he's unmuted, but I can't hear him.
Yeah, and again, I just want to stress, if that kid decided, if he really, because there's more to be hit, he's probably only catching dudes. Well, he on his third punch, he's kind of over his foot. That's going to be his hottest punch. Well, either the left hook or on the fourth if he's throwing combos, because if he's throwing a fourth punch, the 1, 2, 3, and then he's coming back with that fourth right, that of all the 4 punches is going to be his hottest, because in that position, he's going to be the most flat-footed, and he's going to have the weight over his foot. So the combination punch on top of looking good for the judges is where you're going to see his hottest punches, because he's going to be definitely flat-footed by the time he throwing that fourth punch. So, listen, that kid can hit harder than people give him credit for, and if he fought a different style, he could be putting people out, but that's not his way. Although I think in the 12th there, in the last minute, looked like he was trying. But Zurdo, to his credit though, I gave Zurdo had better defense than I thought he would have had. I got to give him credit there. He was slipperier than I thought he would be he was pretty good at bending at the waist. Did a good job in making Bivol miss. And I think his connect ratio is probably lower in this fight. I'm curious to see. I didn't see it. But probably lower than his average.
He has improved. That's for sure. I want to see the like count go up, by the way. Hit that thumbs up button. What's the matter with you, man? I mean, men. Yeah, men in plural. Hey, what the heck are you guys doing? We're about to open up the phone lines. I don't see that many likes.
This shit right here ain't cool, dog.
That's right, man. See, he agrees with me. Homeboy agrees with me. All right, what else do I want to say about that? Let me read a couple of chats here because I usually don't, and I always try to give people a chance to comment here. Shout out to Blue Collar Sports TV. Check out Blue Collar Sports TV, his boxing channel, one of the best out there, I must say. He says Ramirez should have let his nuts hang. Exactly, but that's not the type of guy he is. We've been saying that from the beginning, man. But he should have. He should have, that's for sure. Iron Fist says Rakimov impressed. I didn't know that he had the OG Freddie Roach in his corner. I gotta tell you, man, I was shitting on him for the first couple of rounds. I was like, man, this motherfucker, what's he doing? I know he's better than this. And then he started wearing the other guy down, A.K. Beretta. I forget what his name was. And he did indeed. So shout out to Rakimov. Wise Guy says Cameron dominated Macaque skill. I didn't see the female fight. Electorazo says the female fugly fight was better than Zurdo. Well, there you go. Maybe I should have. Arkham Inmate says Canelo got marked up more against Bivol than Zurdo did. Yeah, but I also think he did better at actually pushing Bivol onto the ropes. And I don't know. Maybe I'll have to rewatch the fight and maybe count the punches. But then again, why would I do that? Shout out to Official Scorecard. Check out his channel as well. Official Scorecard says, I'm not starting the stream until I see 500. Like, imagine if we did that like a bunch of maniacs. All right, listen. Hey, Gonzalo dropped off, man. What the fuck? All right, anyway. Jimmy, I'm looking forward to now more Bivol Beterbiev. That's the fight that's on the top of my queue. That's the fight that I want to see more. Crawford and Spence can go fuck themselves. They don't like us. So I'm thinking, why should we give them the chance to earn a pay or a big payday when they didn't even like us? And they're like, hey, listen, you motherfuckers, you do you, and we'll make the fight when we want to. Yeah? Well, guess what? There's not that many boxing fans out there. It's a niche sport. These fuckers think they're acting out there like there's a million people wishing to watch this fight. Or, the mainstream America and Canada and England wants to see this fight. Newsflash for these fuckos. It's a niche sport. You need us, just like we need you, all right? So get your act together. But Bivol Beterbiev, Jimmy, do you agree? Or do you want to see Fury Usyk first? Or like, how do you see it?
No, I want to see the Beterbiev Bivol fight. It's going to probably be in Dubai again or Abu Dhabi, wherever the fight was tonight. The crowd was actually pretty lively. I was surprised. Get a lot of people traveled for Zurdo and Bivol because they had some. Unless that's just the contingent of fans there that speak English too. So, but I don't know. But they were more lively than I thought they would be. But yeah, no, I want to see that fight right now. I think it's an easier fight because both of them. The Russians, both of them want to make a fight. Or that fight could actually be held in Moscow, too. I don't know if they would because of, obviously, the war. But that would have been a good fight to hold in Moscow. But, yeah, no, absolutely. That's the fight to be made right now because it's got the two guys, not only two undefeated fighters, it's also guys are on, I think both of them on the top 10 pound-for-pound list. So 2 pound-for-pound fighters fighting for undisputed. Because think about it, Castano wasn't on the pound-for-pound list. Neither was Jamal at the time. Haney definitely wasn't. He wasn't even after the fight. So, so you look at anybody else right now, that would be the most, I believe, accomplished, and even better than, obviously, the Canelo at 68, which is better than the other two. So that would be out of all the 4-belt unifications, the most accomplished with the highest tier of fighters competing in at it. So yes, that's the one I want to see.
Interesting. All right. We're in agreement. Fury Usyk, it's a good fight, but I don't think it's going to be that entertaining. Whereas Bivol Beterbiev, you got a bona fide puncher in there against one of the purest boxers in the game, and he doesn't run, he doesn't clinch, he doesn't hit in the balls, he doesn't look for the referee for help. So that's going to be a very, very, very interesting one. Bucho, if you're hearing, can you do me a favor and start a poll in the chat just to see? I want to get I want to understand what people are thinking here. How do they see the fight, that potential fight? Hold on a second. Can I can start a poll myself, but I don't know how to fucking do it. I'd have to do it.
Hey, that's a good BDA. That's a good contrast. The style's right. The pure boxer against a power puncher.
Absolutely.
Hey, who do you think hits harder, Rocky Marciano or Arthur Beterbiev?
I would have to say, I would have. Well, go ahead, Jimmy. What do you think then?
Oh, just Marciano, without a doubt. I mean, that dude threw everything behind his punches once he had you hurt. Yeah, no, he was an animal. His punches were like legendary.
Wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that he's from Massachusetts.
Oh no, man! Fucking or an Italian, again from Massachusetts. Because if you listen to me, I'll be honest, man. I've never really praised him as a human being. The people I know who knew him personally said he wasn't that great of a guy. He kind of a dink, and he was cheap as the day is long, man. Like alligator arms. He died taking a flight. I mean, like he'd hang around local airports to jump on fucking planes. Hey, oh my gosh, the chip! Hey, where you going? Like literally, he would go to. He went to. It was a famous. This was after he was world champion. He would still get on a plane, fly to Ohio to collect $100 off somebody. Hey, you owe me that $100. Like
I didn't know that, man.
God's honest truth.
What
yeah,
the
no,
fuck?
he was very tight with his money, but he broke people's legs, dude. He beat people up for money. He was a collector when he was a kid. They don't talk about him much, but everybody in Massachusetts knows his family was connected. But all Italians back then, that's nothing new. So,
legend is he crashed in the wilderness in an airplane and he got up, but then he collapsed dead after. But he got up. I don't know.
Probably punched the plane first. And then he fucking passed. Yeah, no, he was a tough dude. And that was his thing, man. He would let you tee off on his head. He didn't care because he would just eventually get you because you could hit so hard. But again, he wasn't, from again, what I've told, maybe I was given all bad information from the old timers, but I never heard too many people. They say he was so much an asshole, just wasn't a very friendly individual.
Well, when you say that
sometimes
he was
shyness comes across that way too, so.
When you say that he was cheap, maybe his real name was Rocky Rosenblatt or something. Rocky Zimmerman. I don't know. I'm just saying. Hey, we're just joking around here. Come on now, fellas.
A lot of those kids who grew up in the, depression and never had nothing, like, you know what I mean? So they just get tight, because they grew up in such like unbelievable poverty.
I was reading about that. The people.
Sorry, he's the opposite of Slapsy Maxi Rosenblum. No, that was another legendary 175-pounder. No, that couldn't crack an egg.
Is that right? I'm going to check it out.
Slapsy Maxi Rosen. Yep.
That's an app nickname.
He's legendary too.
Yeah, Marciano's game plan was he would beat your arms to the point it became arduous just to lift them up to protect your head. Like you know what I mean? They were so full of hematomas that they couldn't lift their arms up to protect their head by the 15th round. And the last 3 rounds, 13, 14, 15, he would just beat your skull in.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Blue Collar Sports TV for his contribution to the Super Chat. He says, the zone needs to get rid of that hobo Diamante. Yeah, did you guys hear by the end of the night he was announcing the decision? He was, it's like, what the fuck? How can you lose your voice? You're supposed to be a professional announcer, man. What was he doing? Was he drinking gasoline before that, or? No, did you hear it, or was it just me? That his voice was hoarse by the end?
Well, maybe he's doing other fights. Maybe he does MMA during, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I heard that.
He sounded like Tom Waits.
Who's that video?
Diamante, the guy with the dirty hair, the long dreads and all that. The announcer.
Okay. What happened to him?
At the end, when he was announcing the Bivol decision, he was like, and the winner. And his voice sounded hoarse. He sounded like he'd been drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes by the fucking cart, man. It was insane. I don't know what happened. I think he
was in a real bad vehicular or motorcycle accident that he had real bad damage to his spine or something. Maybe it's one of those things where he was in pain from standing too much. That after he just started screaming like the dude from the UFC.
So you say he was screaming from pain and that's why his voice is hoarse?
From a pinched nerve or something, Right. I kind of get that sometimes. I feel the same way.
All right. So you sympathize with Diamante there. All right, good.
There's a bunch of ruckus in my pants going on. Okay, Mateo, be quiet.
Yeah, don't drop him on your stomach again. So this time you might shit your pants.
No, I was kicking back, man. It was like I thought about it yesterday. I was gonna mention I was kicking back, watching my tablet and the fucking playpen, just breathing in and out. He sat on my stomach. It's like, ooh, I had to take a deep breath. Imagine, dude, these fucking fighters, dude.
Kids will do that, man. You gotta watch out,
man.
Yeah, kids will do that, man. You don't think, and they don't think that well either. So they'll kick you in the balls and everything. They don't know that it hurts, man. They just don't know. Yeah, man. All right. What else was I gonna fucking say here, man? We're talking about Rocky Marciano. We're talking about Bivol. Yeah, Bivol Beterbiev. Listen, they're gonna offer them. If they offer Eddie Hearn a side fee in Saudi Arabia again, he better take it. Because if they do this in the US, it's not gonna sell that well. I don't think they could hold it in the. Because I looked at the crowd when they were zooming out of that Bivol Zurdo fight. There were a lot of empty seats, man. A lot of empty seats. And somebody told me in the Discord that they were selling tickets at $100 a pop right before the start of the event, I think, or yesterday. So it's two Russians. Most Americans will not know who these fuckers are. If you thought Crawford versus Spence isn't going to do that well with mainstream America, yeah, you should wait for this guy. Two Russians. One of them is not that entertaining. I don't know. They should take the big side fee where they can if they want to make some money off of this. I'm talking about the promoters. Shout out to John.
That's what I was thinking, BD. In regards, because I could offer just like my power went out, so I had to connect to a power bank. There's like a brownout, so I cut off. But look, everybody in the world wanted Zurdo to win. Even dude, yeah, man. Okay, have him win because Canelo said I don't want to fight.
Is it me or did he cut out? I think Gonzalo said on his stomach again. Okay, it's not just me, right? It's not my connection.
Yeah, no, he dropped off.
He was gonna say something about he wanted Zurdo to win just for the entertainment factor. I think. I was kind of the same way.
A lot of people wanted to see him win.
I was kind of the same way. I was like, you know what? If he wins, I think it would be better a little bit for the YouTube drama. Have a guy that's actually gonna be. But even then, though, I have to say, Zurdo, like I said before the fight, he's not really that entertaining either. You watch most of his fights, he thinks too much. I think people were also fooled by him knocking out Uniski Gonzalez and Barrera too past their primes. Way past their primes. Because these guys were probably 45 by the time they stepped in there with him. So
yeah,
it is what
Bivol stopped Barrera 5 years ago. You're the first person to do it.
Hey, by the way, shout out to John Gonzalez for his contribution with the Super Chat. Oh, come on. He says, dead Aaron Carter would have given Bivol a better fight. Poor Aaron Carter, man. The guy, he got 34 years young, man. 34 years young, he's already dead. It's a shame when they go that young, man. Don't you agree, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. I got sad just talking about that, man. Let's see if the chat can cheer me up. Blue Collar Sports TV says Mateo made Gonzalo take a knee like Caleb Brook. he broke his eye socket. Shout out to Ralph Unreal. Yeah,
Mr. BDA, is it really 5 people, 5 thumbs up, but over 200 people watching? Wow.
No, nobody said 5 thumbs up, Jimmy. Let's not get into fake news here. I said we were at 50 last time I checked. Now we're at 93.
Oh, okay. Better. I thought you said 5. I was like, God damn, man. What are we doing here?
Listen. It's at 93 now. It's better. But I think we can do a little bit better. Right now, what I see there in the like ratio, you know what I think it is? That's what I think of it, man.
Oh,
utter
damn.
shit.
They got bubble gut.
That's right, man.
Like, this channel's out there who will freaking straight up say, until I get 200 likes, I'm not opening the lines, or, you know what I mean?
That's right, yeah. Maybe we should do that, man.
What the fuck are we doing out here? What the fuck are we doing out here? I asked you.
That's a good point, man. What are we doing here? If we're under 100 likes, what are we doing here? Knock him out already. What the fuck? That's what I'm saying.
Fuck all you motherfuckers.
Oh, wait a minute.
Fuck out of here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
All right. That's enough of that. All right, I'm going to open up the phone lines. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out, man. Come on now. Opening up the phone lines here. Jimmy, you take over if you want to. Well, if you want to read the chat.
All
or
right.
if you want to
I can't see who's, on the phone, but I'll talk to whoever it is.
No, you could maybe read the chat and play off of that. Whatever you got to do, man.
Okay, I can. All right. Well, I can't really read the chat either, brother. So
what's the matter with
I'm going to let you down on that one too, man.
Well, what about I'll leave you with this question: Bam Rodriguez or Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez? Who's fight of the year?
Bam. Bam. Because was the Canelo fight this year?
Yes.
Was that this year? Was it this
That's
year
right.
against Bivol?
Absolutely, Jimmy. Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, no, I mean it's close. It's close, but honestly, but Bam didn't look as good against his last outing. I think that made him kind of want to go back down to weight, but plus his brother's committing at 115. But coming off a 5 days notice to beat the kid with the bad acne on his back, whatever his name is.
Quadras.
Yeah, to do that. And then, honestly, no, right now I'd have to have Bam just because of the sheer unknown, the amount of fights he's had. I mean, Bivol's an older fighter. He's been fighting champion for years. I mean, I think right now, if you actually broke it down, if you look at the rounds he's lost to the rounds he's won, he's probably got the best winning percentage, like rounds won to rounds lost in boxing, as far as champions go.
And that's why
he's an extremely talented kid.
And that's why I have to laugh, and I do mean laugh, when people go, but this guy has only under 10 fights, whatever. Look, you could have a guy that has 10 fights, and 7 of those are excellent wins. Guess what? He's got a better resume than somebody that's got 47 fights and he's fought a bunch of nobodies. Or 47 fights and only recently 3 fights. People don't seem to get that. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them. And that's the same thing with Bivol.
I think we saw that tonight. I think that was on display tonight. I mean, Gilberto had 44 wins, man. 44 wins, 44-0 with, 30-some-odd knockouts? So, but his competition has been light in the ass. It just hasn't.
Before we go to the phone lines, I'll be right back. You guys take over, all right?
Yep. Yeah, you know what, Jimmy, I'm going to say something that people are going to be like, hey, fuck you, Gonzalo, you're fucking lying. I'm Mexican, dude. I live in the Philippines, but I'm fucking Mexican. Well, I'm American, actually. I'm Mexican-American. But I just happen to grow up in TJ. Anyways, I was like, okay, I'm a ride with Zurdo. I get with anything. You never know anything 100%. There's always a style to beat another style, and we have to consider that, right? But at the same time, dude, this ain't gonna be a fucking echo chamber, dude. If I'm gonna ride with this guy, because in the beginning, a few years ago, like when I got on, you're always riding with the Mexicans. Well, okay, this time, now if I want to ride with this guy, doesn't mean that I can't do that. Exactly. As long as your heart is in the right place and you're doing it because it's a sport, not because you're doing it for any fucking racial reasons.
Yeah, it's nationality, dude. He's a guy from your country, and like you said, it's a throwaway. It was the same thing. Yeah, when you said, I'll go with Zudo. That's a throwaway, but you knew the whole time. In fact, you told me before I even picked my pick exactly how it would go down. You said, we were talking, remember you said, I just think Bivol's hands will be too fast and his balance. And then again, the record. And it played out that way, exactly like how you first said it. So, dude. And again, there's nothing wrong with picking Zurdo, dude. He's your countryman. That's a blood, dude. So I have nothing wrong with nationalism, people going with their countrymen. That's what because I grew up in the Olympics, man. And, that's the spirit of the Olympics. You go with your countrymen. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I will never but that's not race. That's nationality. You can be a white guy and go with the black guy because he's an American, or vice versa. That's not nationalism, isn't race. Really.
At the end of the day, the Zurdo looks slow, sluggish, and he wanted to hang around in the fucking aftermath to give a fucking interview. He's not the guy. I'm gonna have to actually call him a fucking retard because I thought that he would land the left hook to the body and throw the left hook upstairs, and he fucking failed in regards to that. But you know what? That means that the other guy's really good.
Yeah,
Dmitry Bivol, he's really good. And one more thing, Jimmy,
No, go ahead. Finish it.
The nature of the YouTube boxing community or the people that call themselves hardcore, a lot of times, okay, I like the boxing gossip too, but in regards to the style matchups and fucking everything, who's the best? Bivol proved to be the best. But this fucking sport is fucking toxic, dude. I'm sick and fucking tired of it, dude.
Yeah, it gets ugly, dude. It gets ugly. It does wear on you. You know what I mean? It's the lowest common denominator. It's such a, I got nothing else to offer somebody, try to make you sound like either racist or you're biased because of race and that type of shit. It's because they got nothing left to offer at that point, so they go to the lowest common denominator. But yeah, listen, and Bivol is enough of a pro. Not every punch has the same power. I guarantee you, The first couple of rights he threw, the first right he really caught him with and zapped him, he knew the body shot, the left of the body, would be the key punch for Zurdo, especially with his high body punch connection rate. He knew that would be his go-to punch or the best punch he could throw. So what did he do? He waited till he really knew he could catch him with a right, and he put some mustard on it, and it stung Zurdo. And that made him gun-shy from there on in. And he didn't get him gun-shy until he called for it. It's okay, you better turn it up now, or this is going to be a whitewashing. But yeah, to your point, dude, that's the reason why he didn't do it. I think it was because of Bivol's skill, and he touched him and hurt him enough with that right. I believe it was right after Zurdo tried to go to the body. He just reached back and popped him good in the first round.
Well, and Jimmy, that's the reason that I still follow the sport, because I want to always keep on learning. What you mentioned right now, I just picked up on something that I never considered. Well, but it's actually fucking true. Watch. Speed kills. Speed and timing is kind of equal to power, because the quicker you throw a shot, the more the less opportunity the person has to like expect the punch, that it could really like bamboozle them. They don't see the punch coming. But imagine like a Dmitry Bivol, he's throwing fast, quick shots on the inside. Never mind from the outside, like Devin Haney or a Shakur Stevenson, where speed and timing from the outside, boom, and I'm trading with you and I caught you. I'm catching you on in the inside with quick fucking shots that are unsettling you and fucking putting your head on the swivel. I think Zurdo was a little like disorientated.
Yep. And Bivol throws, absolutely. And another thing what would screw a lot of people up is he throws extremely straight punches. The quickest route to get to any point is a straight line. He throws very straight punches. He'll sometimes turn his elbow over when he's throwing on a down. But if he's throwing straight, it's pop, 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 straight as an arrow down the pipe. And that third one got there so quick. Like you said, speed and timing beats power. And accuracy, because speed and timing too is knowing when, because not all right hands are going to be the same. Depending on where it makes connection to the jaw or head and your body positioning. Now, if you make connection when you're all the way out, completely arm extended with your body wholly extended, when you're catching them out at the end of the punch, it's not going to be nowhere near as much. Like Marvin Hagler would always say, the 6-inch punch, maybe. If my elbows 6 inches are closer to my body when I make contact with you, I'm fucking putting your lights out. Now, he used to always call it a 6-inch punch, and that's just always stuck with me. But yeah, the closer, because again, you want to drive. Dude, how many times you hear it in the gym? Drive your punches through the target. You don't punch this. You're not slapping at the target. You're punching through the target. And so to punch through something, you have to be close enough to actually go through the target. So he knows when to throw the punch. Like, he's not going to waste throwing a right hand when he's so far out where even if he connects, it's not going to, because you're not going to hurt the guy bad enough where he might not get some get back, right? Might throw right away off that right, come across with the left hook because you didn't have enough on your right to keep him, honest. So he's very economical with that. He's going to throw his right hand when he knows it'll deliver the most amount of damage. And you got to learn that. You just know your body. You know where your feet need to be in position to the body you're about to punch, where it's going to be most effective. So even though if it doesn't look like he's putting a lot on him, those punches sting. And Zurdo has a chin because he took some flush fucking shots. So nobody can question that kid's toughness. In fact, tougher than I thought he was. I didn't think he was going to be as tough as I always kind of considered him a pretty boy. He talked a lot of like gang stuff before years back, and I thought, dude, you know what I mean? So I was like, dude, come on, stop that shit. But he is tougher than I thought. Listen, that kid took some squared up shots that would definitely rock people. And
he's got a big chin.
Tough.
Good on him. But
credit
so what do you think
for him
about
throwing
that?
the 1-2-1s and the straight punches. I said Zurdo, he cannot throw hooks because it's just gonna throw you off your center line to where you got to correct. If even it's just by a little bit that the guy is throwing the straight punches, he's gonna catch you first. But what happened to the uppercuts? Zurdo, they were MIA. He never really threw anything, and he tried to keep it together. He tried to contest with Bivol's 1-2s because he's a taller guy. If you throw a 1-2-1, and you're Bivol, but then I'm Zurdo, I'm going to keep it long. But he wasn't even committing to that because he didn't want to commit too much. That he didn't want to end up losing to where if I do commit a little too much and I go over to where when you step to me. So what do you say, Jimmy? That's where Dmitry Bivol's greatness lies, in the ability to in that one dimension when you're moving back and forth, and it's a game of inches sometimes, or like long bounds, like in and out. Even if it's short in and out, long in and out, always keep rearranging the distance and that fucking straight line that makes them great.
Hey, fellas,
because he's always in and out, Gonzalo. It makes it hard for guys to judge. Like what I just went over about how where your your strike zone. Everybody has a sweet spot. Like they know where their sweet spot is on their punch, and it's hard to time a guy coming in and out. And then another thing, what negates the uppercuts for me, when a guy keeps that high guard with their elbows out in front, you see how he kind of keeps his elbows out in front, he's moving them back and forth. You start trying to throw uppercuts on a guy who has a hard guard like that, you're going to catch the end of the elbow. And as you know, nothing hurts your hands like punching the end of elbows. And if you start,
guys, we gotta go to some phone calls here.
Yeah.
Guys, we gotta go to some phone calls.
We're burning the midnight oil, but BD, I think we got some calls or something.
Yes, thank you, Gonzalo. Thank you very much. We'll come back to that. Don't forget what you were gonna say, fellas. Don't forget. Let's go to the phone calls here in the meantime. And don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Can't say it enough. I won't say it enough. What do you think about that? All right, let's go to the phone calls here. Let's go to 386. 386, you're on the air. 386, what's on your mind? .386, you're on the air.
Going
once.
What's up, fellas?
Oh, Jackson.
I thought you said 863. You motherfucker. See, I missed the fight. I thought it was going to be one of those fucking headbangers at 11, but salute to the fellas, and I think I told you guys what was going to happen. I feel bad for BDA. I wish I would have made a bet, man. We were talking about wagers. I know Bucho's a little engineer numbers guy. I wish I would have done that 7-1 and bet $70 million on the Russian killer Bivol. I haven't even seen the fight yet. I'm really excited. How was it? Was it boring, or did he do what I told him he was going to do?
Well, listen, he said in a pre-fight interview, he said, I'm going to implement the plan that Jackson told me on the phone. I think at some point he was on the cellular phone backstage, and I thought, he's probably talking to Jackson. Now, here's what he did. He actually, from the beginning, he was backing Zurdo up a little bit. Zurdo wasn't on the ropes or anything for long stretches at the time.
Yeah.
Bivol wasn't running. He was in the middle of the ring, and he actually did hit him flush with some combos, but Zurdo did better than expected in the middle of the ring. But even then, on the scorecards, he wasn't. It was all Bivol for the most part.
What BDA, was it more convincing than like the Canelo? Because you know how there's some like glancing blows, and like I just want to know, did Bivol like did he make his presence known? Because the guy is exceptional. And Jimmy, you were the guy that really got me. Like, I didn't think Bivol was all that until Jimmy talked about his footwork about 3 years ago. And I got a question for Jimmy after BDA. But so how'd the fight end? Because I had a great night. I'm not gonna lie, exceptional.
What? Oh, you had a great night, you said?
Yeah, I did.
What were you doing?
Yeah, so some drama, I thought the fight was later, and I was surfing, hung out with my ex-girlfriend who's like fucking up my legal case, but she's a fucking maverick. I mean, kudos to her. But I wanted to ask Jimmy how well he knew Dickie Eklund, but we can save that for a better day. We can save that for a better day. I know you guys got more callers, so maybe I'll call back, but I'll keep listening, all right? I got to go get some more beer for the crew.
Go get a burrito. Go get a burrito and rewatch the fight. I mean, watch the fight. Watch the replay.
A day surfing, man. Come on, there's nothing better than that. I wouldn't have left surfing to go. Put it this way, you would be glad you didn't leave surfing to go see this fight. It wasn't that level.
No, it was entertaining.
This guy, let me get my Mexican backhandlers. What could you coin the term? And my Italian friend, like the Italian American, to fill me in.
Yeah, that's true. Huh? That's why we're here for, to fill him in. All right, let's go to another phone call, man. Let's go to 803. 803, you're on the air. 803, what's on your mind?
What's going on, boys? It's HBTC.
Oh, HBTC, what's up, man?
What's going on? Yeah, I got a chance to watch the fights. The stream I was watching it on, it kept skipping around, but I got the majority of the fight. It went as much as it went pretty much as I expected it to. Bivol is just on another level. Honestly, just with the mix of everything, his footwork, his distance management, always being in position, being in the position and throwing knowing what to throw when he's in that position. He probably has the best footwork. I mean, everybody will probably praise Lomachenko, but just the ability to do what he does consistently. He's always in the perfect position, and he knows his opponent's range. And to do that against a guy, and I know Bivol he went into the fight being the better boxer, but just to do that against someone the size of Zurdo. And Zurdo, he's a hell of a fighter. He's no slouch. To do that against him, constantly keep him up at the end of his jab and pick him apart, it was just impressive to watch.
There you go, man. See, there's one guy that appreciated that type of fight. I mean, look, some people are going to say, well, wait a minute, you guys say that boxing off the back foot is boring. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't boxing off the back foot. He was on the retreat sometimes, but he was never actually running circles around the ring. He's back against the ropes consistently and clinching. This is what you're supposed to do when you box. This is what I suggest young boxers and trainers watch if you want to know what real boxing is from the distance. And of course, you got to be exceptionally quick to be able to dominate the way Bivol does. But yeah, man, HBTC, what do you think? Beterbiev, Bivol, man. How do you see that one going?
Well, first of all, I also wanted to say, I wanted to point this out too. There was one point in the fight, I'm not sure if it was the third or fourth, maybe even the fifth round. Zurdo came in a little aggressive, and Bivol let his hands go, and he landed a left hook that right around the guard that whipped Zurdo's head back a little bit. And then after that, not long after, he followed up with a series of punches. I think it was at that point that Zurdo just right there, he decided it wasn't worth coming in. Mm-hmm. First of all, Zurdo has a hell of a chin. And for someone like Bivol to come in there and land punches in the early part to the mid part of the round, and right there, Zurdo was established that he wasn't going to come in to take any more of those punches, lets you know what kind of puncher Bivol is. And right there, it showed that if Zurdo were to come in and try to make it dirty and try to mix up to the body, Bivol's footwork was too good, his distance management was too good that he knew if he extended too much or if he missed based off of Bivol's in and out, he wasn't going to get countered with more of those punches, and he just didn't want to risk it. With that being said, right there, the only fight to make at this point in that division is Beterbiev and Bivol. And right there, when I was talking about Bivol's power, I think that's what's going to make this fight, and I think I lean towards Bivol because of that. People don't think of Bivol as a puncher, think of him more as a boxer. And just look at the trend of Bivol's fights. Nobody just bum rushes Bivol. Nobody. And it's because he has pop on his punches. And I think right there, Beterbiev is going to find that out too. Now, Beterbiev is a cannon. He goes there and he destroys people with his offense. But we've seen in the past, he has been caught and he has been hurt. So that's why I'm going to lean towards Bivol. And that's the only fight you can make at this point.
All right, HBTC, excellent call, man. And call back next time, right, man?
All right, man. You guys have a good one.
You too, man. Take it easy out there. All right, let's go to the phone call here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. 832, you're on the air. 832, what's on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. What's on your mind?
Zurdo looked very bad. I thought he looked very sluggish, like too heavy almost. Kind of reminded me of like when Wilder, when he gained a lot of weight to fight Fury, to just give him an advantage, and it did not work out for him. Now, I was just, when I was watching the fight, I just noticed his front foot. He never, Zurdo's footwork didn't look good. Southpaw versus an orthodox fighter, the front foot is always like an important battle, something to look at. And I always saw his foot was always on the inside of the ball, never on the outside. Mm-hmm. And I was just wondering, what do you think is next for Bivol? Like, if he can't get the Beterbiev 5 right now, or whatever his last name is, Is he just gonna like get a break from boxing, be with his family, or what do you think?
Well, from what I understand, Bob Arum now has been talking about, hey, listen, let's make the fight happen. From what he's saying, it appears that there's a possibility that all parties involved know there's not much else to do once Beterbiev gets past Anthony Yarde. So I think it's going to happen, man. Now, Beterbiev, I think, is going to fight Yarde early next year. So maybe Bivol is going to be willing to sit out and wait for that fight to happen in maybe May or June. But it seems like, hey, it's looking good, man.
Can I share a little comment, BDA, to his answer? Just a few lines. Sure. I'm going to drop a bar. Okay. What's his Dmitry Bivol ruined the party for most of like the American fan base. Everybody had the long faces because they wanted Zurdo to avenge the Canelo loss, to where Zurdo was going to be the new face of Mexican or American boxing, and he was going to call out the guy that said, I don't want to fight no Mexicans. But you know who can make it all right? Let me see. What's this guy? The 68-pounder, David Benavidez, the half Mexican dude. Yes, let me move up to 75 because I'm a big dude anyways. I'll move up, and if I ain't getting the Canelo, and I'm not fucking fighting Zurdo, and nobody's the fucking darling here and representing America, let me step up because I can. That's the route they should take. After the Plant fight, if he wins. That's
an excellent point, man. Hey, listen, the door is wide open for him to take over.
No, I was just saying, I don't think Benavidez wants to smoke. I think his brother, I respect his brother a lot. You know, he has fought some tremendous competition. But on the other side, Benavidez, who has he fought? Just old champs. And I don't think he's going to take the risk to fight Bivol when he can take a risk and fight Canelo for a future, like a bigger amount of money.
Hey, partner. He's also got the style inside the ring. He lets the hands go. 19 punch combinations against El Porky Medina. That's what we want to see, somebody that can contest against the free-flowing style. You cannot be hesitant on pulling the trigger. David Benavidez can be that dude. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point. Yeah,
even the Mexicans give him a lot of hate right now. It's reivindication for him.
Yeah, Caller, what Gonzalo is saying that in a perfect world, that's what Benavidez should do if he wants to be the darling of Mexico. But I do agree with you that that's not what he's going to do. He's going to look for the Canelo fight. It's a big payday, and it's going to get him more traction. And as a young man, I think he really does want that fight over moving up. But then again, hey, you never know. The only way he moves up, I think, is if finally his body... We'll see what happens against Caleb Plant. If he starts having way too much trouble to make weight, 168, he probably is going to move up. But listen, Caller, we got to move on, man. Thank you for your call. Call back next time, all right, man?
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. You too. All right, let's go to 323 here. 323, you're on the air. 323, what's on your mind?
Hey, dude, that Beaner's got a chin, man.
He really does, doesn't he?
Estoy mamando, cabrón. Hey, Gonzalo, what you were saying yesterday about es Don Madrazos. What you were saying yesterday about Bivol, and I noticed that in and out at an angle and the distance today, and it reminded me more of like a Manny Pacquiao, the way he just kind of like bounces on his feet and he's in and out and he's in and out. I was really impressed with Bivol. I knew he was going to win. I thought it was going to be a lot closer. I called it yesterday, but man, it was really wide. And I think Zurdo had some really good moments when he was hitting to the body. I could hear those punches, and I just wish he would have worked it a little bit more. And I kind of expected a little bit more from Zurdo, but I was really impressed with his chin. He took some really hard hits. And Bivol, it wasn't like he was throwing just arm punches. He was sitting down on those punches, and he was giving them some work. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Well, is that what you say when what do you say, like when the loser, like he gets the present for being second place? He had a hard chin because, like Biddy said, everything was looking clumsy about him, and that might have been an optical illusion because the hair. I thought he had better gloves. Biddy said it was the trunks, but in the end of the day, he was just the more sluggish man, the bigger guy, and it made him look awkward against the quicker dude. So when the quicker dude is beating you, that guy's gonna look super slow.
Those those shorts, I think you give him limited crotch movement or something because they were pretty damn short, dude.
That's a good point, man. No, yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
He looked like a giant next to Bivol, and I mean, I didn't realize he was that slow. I knew he was slow, but not. I mean, these punches were like underwater punches. They were just really slow, but when they landed,
Don Mardassos?
I thought they were pretty impressive.
You know what, Don Mardassos? You got a good point. Maybe those little shorts, they were a little too tight and they were chafing him. Listen, I've heard excuses before. I've heard them all. I remember Pacquiao, when he didn't perform as well as he wanted to against Juan Manuel Marquez the first time, he blamed the socks. He said he had a cheap pair of socks and that's why he couldn't move. I also remember when Vinny Paciencia lost to Roy Jones, he blamed it on a cup of coffee. He said he had a caffeine crash, and that's why Roy Jones kicked his ass. It had nothing to do with the fact Roy Jones was one of the best fighters ever. So now I think Zurdo should come out with that.
It had nothing to do with the technique. It was all about the shorts, you guys. You know, the shorts were too small.
They were crushing his balls, man.
No, but seriously, I thought that Bivol, man, he just he turned it on a little bit more than he did with Canelo in certain points, and you know what was really impressed, because yesterday you guys were touching on the fact that that Bivol doesn't really like exchange in the pocket too much. He likes to exchange. He likes to throw his combinations and then get out of the way. And when he had Zurdo in the pocket, his exchanges were really nice. I mean, he looked really impressive. So I mean, big credit.
The speed on the inside, no.
Bull,
madrazos, BDA. I was just gonna say, I think what I was gonna mention is having a good chin a consolation prize. Madrazos. Is that what we give Zurdo?
Well, you know, to your point, BDA, I'm really impressed that there was no clinching, no holding, barely any holding. But then again, I would have at least liked to have seen Zurdo use his weight and kind of bully Bivol a little bit and pose his weight and make it more of a dirty fight. If he had made it more of a dirty fight, maybe it would have been closer. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, listen, this fight does not deserve a rematch, so I guess we'll never know, man. But it is what it is. Well, listen, Don Mardassos, we got to move on to another call, man. But thank you for calling, and call back next time, all right, man?
Take care, you guys.
You too, man. Take it easy out there. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 510. 510, you're on the air. 510, what's on your mind?
Hello?
510. Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm turning off my Bluetooth. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, man. What's up?
Hey, man. Yeah, well, pretty much, I think I was actually going to try to call yesterday because the way I saw the fight, it was obviously a good fight for Bivol. I mean, it wasn't anything extremely entertaining, but it was fairly entertaining. I think his skills has always been pretty underrated. Because even before Canelo fought, when I'm starting to learn boxing and I'm starting to pick up on some details, like even watching the guy move, he just embodies like that Russian style boxing. So I'm not surprised. Like the outcome, I thought it was really fucking crazy that people called yesterday, and they were saying that it was 50-50. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, but the only thing that surprised me was just how more dominant Bivol was in terms of just like how his movement is, and like his the guy just mentioned, fighting in the pocket, whatever. Like that was fairly impressive. And I think overall, it was really a fight for him. Hopefully, he ends up getting like a bigger fight because honestly, I think the real test for Bivol will probably be Dmitry Bivol or whatever the fuck his name is, and that would be a decent fight. I honestly haven't really seen any. I haven't seen any tape. I get him confused with the other guy, the other Russian guy that I think Canelo fought, whatever. But whatever. Point Bivol, being, solid performance. I want to see him fight Canelo.
He looks like the Wolverine.
Again,
if you watch the Wolverine, he looks like him.
Yeah, caller, just one guy. Bivol's the Korean, and Dmitry Bivol is the guy that looks like a werewolf. Just put it that way, you won't forget him, man.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Right.
Well, let me tell you, caller.
I mean, yeah. Either way, like I was saying, hopefully he gets a big fight, and the real test will probably be Dmitry Bivol, and after that, I mean, who knows? The guy's such a talent, though. Like, I understand why people, a lot of people don't know the bigger weight classes, obviously, but yeah, he pretty much embodies the style. And like what I do like about Bivol too, like his intelligence. Like you don't really see that often nowadays with the current pool of a lot of boxers. So, yeah, great performance. Good on him. Hopefully, he bitch slaps Canelo again. And yeah, man. I mean, I personally don't like him. I've expressed this before on the call, but the thing that drives me crazy is like, how is it that somebody like Bivol is not admired more than a guy like Canelo? Like, he's not obviously. Nothing that really matters, but like when you see a guy like Bivol that just is like, he has the talent, the innate talent, the physical endurance, the boxing IQ. I mean, how is this guy not more popular? But it is what it is. It's boxing, and people, you know the deal. Like, certain people just like him because of their skin color, et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
so that's the last thing I'll say. Like, great performance. Hopefully Bivol. I think he's like a future pound for pound. And also shout outs to Jimmy and Gonzalo. You guys are pretty cool. Like, I appreciate the panel. You guys are, even though I don't agree with you entirely, like most, I just want to come and speak boxing to people, because where I'm at, a lot of people don't give a fuck about boxing. And then I'm kind of tired of like speaking about or hearing about the cookie cutter bullshit. Like, this guy's gonna win because he's more popular. Like, I do enjoy this space, so I appreciate you too. BDA, whatever.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I do think thank you, man. All right, thank you, man. Thank you for your call, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words.
Thank you.
Call back next time, man. Take it easy out there.
Thank you. Take it easy, man. Yep.
All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 832. 832, you're on the air. 832. What's your? You're on the air, man. You're on the air. 832.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Oh, come on. What are you doing? Are you at the McDonald's, man? You're on the air, man. 832, you're on the air. Throw away the McDonald's, the Big Mac, and yeah, you're on the air, man. What are you eating? Big Mac? Are you ordering Wendy's or?
So this is out of context, but I wanted to say, because have you seen the recent reports saying how there might be a Navarrete versus Velez fight?
Yes.
I was wondering your opinion on that. Let's see what you guys think.
Gonzalo's got more to say about that. Gonzalo, you want to take that one? He said Valdez versus Navarrete.
Yeah, versus Navarrete. Oh, Jesus, sorry. The power went out, so I had to connect to my car real quick because I'm having connectivity issues. No, Navarrete versus... can you hear me? Navarrete versus Valdez. Valdez has always been a warrior, dude. He's like the Arturo Gatti for the Mexicans at the lower weight divisions. But with that being said, that's kind of a compliment, but it's kind of like also not demeaning him, but it means that he takes a fucking beating. He's had a broken nose, fucking a broken chin, and he's cut on the eyes. Not necessarily saying that he's fucking paper skin, but the dude's a fucking warrior. So that's not an underhanded compliment, but it means he comes to fight. He's aggressive against a taller, longer, kind of like Dmitry Bivol effect, because I told BDA, and now maybe BDA kind of like understands what I'm saying. It's like he's aggressive, he's in and out, but with the long arms like a fucking slinky. Like, remember the fucking the video game Street Fighter? He can catch you from afar, and it also to correlate off of that, he's kind of like Joy Joyce. The more you get tired and you're fucking sinking in quicksand, the more he's diving it in, and he's fucking he's more on point. Oh, because we saw him break that bull and many opponents over. This is what Navarrete is gonna do. He's gonna impose himself, and Valdez is gonna keep bringing it. But at the same time, he's short and he's just gonna keep getting caught. The only thing that I say Valdez got good, because I picked him against Burchell. He got a quick reaction time. Even though he catches a beating, dude, he fucking drop rank.
No, I think Gonzalo dropped out, man. Gonzalo, you dropped out, man. Well, hopefully that answer. I think he kept it pretty. He told you the essential. I think there. I think Navarrete. He supports Navarrete in winning the fight. I mean, not support, but he's going with Navarrete. Caller.
No, yeah, it's okay. The power went out. Yeah.
But go ahead, caller.
Okay. One last question. I How do you think the Canelo versus Bivol rematch, if it does happen, how do you think that will go?
Jimmy, you want to take that one? Jimmy, I'll take it then.
No, I'm sorry. You want to take it?
Because Jimmy already said it, by the way. There's not much different. In fact, Jimmy believes Bivol probably does better in the rematch. I think it's about the same. Maybe a little bit. Maybe Canelo's the one that improves. Maybe this time he finally puts some combos together instead of just going right hook to the body, right hook to the body. But I think it's still a Bivol win, man. So, caller, anything else, man?
All right, thank you.
All right,
man.
Well,
thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you for calling in. Call back next time, man. Take it easy out there. Enjoy your meal. Well, listen, that was the first round of calls. I don't know if we're going to have more. The connection is fucking... Yeah.
I can hear you, BDA.
I know, man.
Mr. BDA.
Well, hopefully, I'll hold on because sometimes it comes back and then whoop, it goes out again. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, but I understand why it's going in and out, man. Hopefully now it reestablishes itself. Bailet Boy says Mossad. Okay, well, everyone's always blaming Mossad for the connection issues. I think it's just my router or... I don't think it's the modem. I think it's the router. Anyway, who cares? This ain't the IT channel. Refresh the stream. That's all I'm going to say in the chat here. Now, what else was I going to say here? Jimmy, I sent you an email, man. Or a tweet, rather. Shit. Hold on a second. Connection issues again. Give me 2 seconds here.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Well, there was a tweet that I sent you earlier today because they're already announcing the next round of PBC fights early next year. And so some people were saying, see, they're not out of money. But then I sent you the tweet where somebody's looking at the finances and I didn't understand it. But you said, what about this? There's a new round of fights being announced for 2023. What's up with that? Is that their last hurrah? Is that all that's going to be pay-per-view?
Who's announcing them? On what network? Showtime?
Well, it's a rumor, I think.
Okay, so I haven't seen nothing official, but if it's Showtime, that's not surprising. If they're still going to be around, they're going to have money allocated to boxing, or they're going to get rid of it. But if they're not getting rid of it, and they're still on the platform, is still alive, then of course, they're just going to be using Showtime's money. So that's all that is. But no, that was the fight oracle. He broke down, basically it was showing the SEC filings for Ivy Group. Waddell and Reed was the investment house that handled the financing for the PBC. The fund they used was the Ivory Fund. So, it's a fund, and that's the Pacific fund that the PBC used. And it showed in total that they sunk $67 million from that fund. And it showed through the filing of 2021, they've received 0.0 money. In fact, they now file that under, like, it's worth 0.00. And in fact, that's the language used. It's used, so the PBC is a wash. Like, they're probably all
mail. He got his pennies in a bunch to where people are talking shit. Oh, let me put on good fights now that people are saying things about me. He's not that guy.
No,
he's cold-blooded. He's Brazilian.
It's not even.
No, the black dudes. The black
whole crop of them. Yeah, the whole newest crop. Yeah, and same thing with like Kid Austin. He's over at Golden Boy, and DAZN's gotten some guys. They're just not going to the PBC. The writing's on the wall. These guys aren't fighting. You go through the list of all their top guys. They're fighting once a year, if that. And there's not enough spaces, even if he does want to match them, and he wants to keep everything in house. The problem is his signees or his stable hasn't changed in 7 years. It's pretty much what he started off with, which was almost all Golden Boy fighters and a few guys that he's picked up here and there, but nothing to sustain the PBC. So, of course, as the quality of fighter, as they age and they lose their championship, so it's just the quality. The quality of PBC fights were not good when they were chock full of young, talented fighters. Now they're aged out guys with ring rust. This is obvious. So no matter what they put on, it's nothing going to be good, I don't think, anyway. So I don't see how we can continue. But it's just funny that he never had to pay any back. He never goes out of his own pocket. That's one of the reasons why he's very big on I'm an advisor. I'm not a promoter, meaning I don't promote anything. I don't put my own money, complete usury. I mean, 100%. All he's ever done is take money out of boxing. He's never risked a dime of his own money.
He's a merchant of
through retirees' money from Oklahoma. This is what he did.
And by the way, I just wanted to mention something just to make it clear to people that might be confused, just like I was. Kid Austin is Floyd Schofield. They're not two different fighters. They're the same. They're one of a kind. Floyd Schofield is from Austin, and they call him Kid Austin. That's the nickname. But his actual name is Floyd Schofield. They're two of the same. Because people get that shit confused, and they didn't know. And I kind of figured that out. Maybe you guys knew, but I'm just saying.
No, I didn't know
confused.
that, man. I didn't know that. But shout out to Abuela for his contribution with Super Chat. He says, Bivol Canelo 2 happens before Crawford Spence. Clown. Yeah, man. I think so, too. I think we got a better chance of seeing Bivol and Canelo rematching than Crawford Spence. That's how I see it, man. So shout out to Abuela for his contribution with the Super Chat. What else was I going to say? Yeah, by the way, they're talking about Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez.
Yeah.
They're talking about Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. They're really patting themselves on the back like, hey, see, we make the fights. Is this going to be pay-per-view?
Of course it's going to be.
Oh,
of course. Oh, without a doubt. There's no money. There's no money to put up. This fight's got these guys, and they're going to get burnt because they're going to expect, and they'll be told, oh, yeah, you're going to get a percentage. You can make up to X amount of dollars. Listen, Errol Spence, even though it wasn't him, I don't give a shit what anybody says it wasn't him, but know that they threw Pete this in front of it because, Kelly Swanson's like, that's what they say. So, but it's just ridiculous. Well, in it, he even states, I don't get a guarantee. You know what I mean? Even I am getting. So you're bragging, dude? You're bragging? You want the promotion? It won't even give you a guarantee? Fucking Crawford got $3.5 million per, even when he fought in an empty fucking house.
Jeez.
He got $6.5 million guaranteed to fight Porter, and you're getting nothing guaranteed. Meaning Heyman's only paying him off the back end of the pay-per-views, and a percentage of it. And the best is. And some people are really like, well, proves he's lying because it says right here, Crawford's lying. It says right here that he would be given a handwritten, written and detailed, a complete detailed view of what. No, so it's just Heyman's accounting of what happened. It's his word. It's not the books. The books are what you took in from the country. Show me what the cable provider paid you, or whoever they're getting their money from, whoever's cutting the check, and then show me what you paid taxes on, motherfucker. Those are the books, not your detailed version of what went down. That holds no water. That's basically handwritten hearsay. Okay. You're not willing to say, nope, I'm not showing you the books, but I will give you a fucking written a summary. So, you know what I mean? Like, no wonder Crawford said, go fuck yourself. But it's so funny. That's what people use. You go on Twitter, like, oh, see? They told me, like, yeah, but it's just Heyman's word. Dude, that's not the books, you dumb motherfuckers. I just can't believe. I mean, I guess you see what you want to see. But yeah, that was a lot of word salad, Errol Spence put up in his Little League phone call where he said, I told Heyman I don't want to fight. Dude, you got no autonomy. You're going to fight who the fuck Al says to fight, and that's going to be Thurman. I would almost bet my life that's who he's fighting next, even though he told Al he isn't fighting Thurman.
Essentially what Jimmy's saying is that this is all a bunch of gobbledygook, a bunch of halberdash. Excuse me, a bunch of balderdash. What am I saying here? So it's just, listen. PBC, they're in a rut, and I went on what's it called? I went on the Twitter a couple of hours ago, and I like how Steve Kim was doubling down, and he was saying, look, the next time a new man, they get finagled by Al Heyman, and he would offer them these fights, and they would go, okay, because they don't know shit about boxing. They need to have an executive that knows boxing, hire somebody that knows what the fuck they're talking about, and look at the fights and go, okay, this fight's good, we'll buy it. I mean, we'll take it. If you guys don't want to offer us the fights we want, the network is going to tell them to go fuck themselves, and that's the way it should work. Listen, the internet's fucking up here. We're going to end it. We'll be back very, very soon to cover some of the more, some of the upcoming fights. For the moment, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that called in. Shout out to everybody that donated with the super chat. And shout out to everybody that contributed here and was listening as well, man. Shout out to the Hawker Mustang, the Quags, to Abuela, Some Rando, Official Scorecard, Boxing, Jam 48, Easy Dimes, King KO, Professional Troll, Wise Guy, Norman Louis, Blyat Boy. Who else was here? Super Sardonic, the Wise Guy, South Clown 773, TV, Arkham Inmate, Sergeant Z, USMC, one foot at the door. If I forget anybody, it's because we got to go. But shout out to everybody out there. Thank you guys for joining us on this late night, or relatively late night stream. We'll be back, like I said, real soon. Stay tuned. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe. Catch you on the next one, fellas. Thanks again.
Peace.
Actually, shout out to KG.